Hey everyone, this is going to be my review of this chap here. This is the body opponent bag, or Bob. My particular Bob is actually called Bastard because he's everything that's wrong with the world and I like to take out on him. He's currently standing at his maximum height where my eyes come up to about his clavicle, and he's got a nice soft spongy chest and abdominal area, good for punching. His head is extremely malleable, and in the midst of punching it bends right the way back and is a bit of a pain in the ass, so I try not to hit him in the head unless I'm doing something like a hook that's going to knock him sideways and I'm not going to follow up on it. When I first got him, I was doing jabs and straights and like jab straights to set up, and you hit him in the head and then that bit at the bottom there can be filled with water or sand if that is entirely full with water in my version. And if you hit him in the head, he will rock backwards. His head goes backwards, the whole thing rocks backwards, and then with the force of that water, it comes rocketing back forwards. And I have done my elbow in a couple of times because he just comes back with so much force. And when you strike his head, there's not much there to stop, and it kind of drags. Drags your glove, drags your hand, stalls your elbow. It's a horrible feeling. So I've started instead to just hit him in the chest and the abs, which is what we're going to see today. Hopefully, if this edit goes well. Okay, I've readjusted the height of Bastard to a more regular height that I usually punch at. This should stop him from going so far back when I sock him, and it also means I've now got his head in range. So, we'll see how this goes. Okay, so having recorded everything else and spent my half-hour boxing against Bastard here, I did kind of forget to run a wrap-up and conclusion of this here body opponent bag. You can see from my previous boxing gloves, before I got my RDX ones, which are there in the Lonsdale ones, I had these ones over here, and being black, and the fact that I hadn't been punching in a while, instead of punching square, I was punching like straight across because my aim was off, and the punches were fairly fast, I assume, and some of the material rubbed off on his face and hasn't come off since. There's the odd things, like he had a belt saying Century going across there that came off pretty much day one. And some of the negative things, like when you hit this guy in the head, that head based on that neck, it doesn't provide much resistance, so hitting in the chest or the abs is much preferable to me, which kind of negates the point of having a bag that looks like a person in the first place, if you ask me. But there's not much to do about it. Just get used to the fact that hooking is more or less the only thing I feel comfortable doing on this guy's head, because that neck is just way too flexible for my liking. Also, drawbacks, like, I don't know if you can see it, there's a kind of dimpling effect going across the chest here. That's developed, I know I hit the chest a lot, but that's developed fairly quickly. I've only had him a couple of months, and it worries me no end that this stuff here, you can see that is always about after every session, so I get the feeling I'm knocking the stuffing out of him, which is not good at this rate. I'm going to guess that I'm going to knock the stuffing out of his chest after about a year, which I hope against, because I'm not going to lie, the body opponent bag is not a cheap item, or it isn't for me at least. I bought it because the first freestanding punch bag I had collapsed when I hit it. This one has certainly stood up so much better, but that dimpling on the chest and the bits that seem to litter the floor afterwards worry me no end. That all said, I have had him a while. I'm hitting him fairly hard. I'm quite a heavy guy, I know that. And I hit him, I kick him, and so far, he's good. He's nice. The material he's made out of, this surface material here, has an unfortunate grip effect, which is why my first boxing gloves, which have been relegated over there because they're no longer usable, they actually split in between the thumb and finger, I assume from where I was punching, and then the material was kind of grabbing on the glove, and then I was pulling away, and the thumb joint just split open, which is not great. I partially expect it might happen to all boxing gloves, but there's not much I can do about that, apart from keep buying new ones, I suppose. But yeah, this is Bob, my bastard, and I have to say, at the moment, in this, I mean, I'm planning on doing a couple of reviews, like, as time goes by, so, as for stage one, I'm just impressed that when I hit it, it doesn't collapse or break. But, like I say, I have some minor concerns about the insides and what's going on. But yeah, this is my Bob review. Got any questions? Ask in the comments.